query by any participant, you can ask in the chat window, okay, and I will be replying to your queries as well. And at the end of the session, we will be having some question answer session as well. Okay. So it is Abdul Shakur from Lexicon School of Business and Finance, and I warmly welcome you all in this program, this short webinar on 10 best practices of financial modeling. Okay, so let me add some participants as well meanwhile. Okay, all right, so this is a brief introduction about myself. I'm currently working as Chief Financial Officer in Bose Home Appliances, and I'm approved financial modeling trainer for Financial Modeling Institute Canada and approved trainer for Samita in Pakistan. And I have been involved in University of Punjab and Pak group of colleges for teaching to CA, CCA, MBA, and MCOM. And as well as educational background is concerned, I'm advanced financial modeler from Financial Modeling Institute Canada, certified public accountant, associate financial accountant, and member Institute of Public Accountants Australia, and MPhil in Management Sciences. Right. So let me discuss about briefly about the lexicon, what it is all about, and what we are doing. So at Lexicon, we have some national and international affiliations, and we are approved training provider of Financial Modeling Institute Canada and Institute of Financial Accounting UK. And recently, we have got accreditation by THE UK for of-call regulated qualification from level 3 to level 7. And we are approved training provider, approved learning partner of ACC as well. And we have affiliation with PIFA and some other organizations. So basically, there are three portfolios or three services that we are providing. And before jumping on, so far we have trained more than 500 participants from international markets and from Pakistan as well. And some of our clients includes PTA, Okra, GT, EY, NPP Funds, FAST, KPMG, and some other organizations as well. Okay. So as I said earlier, that there are three services at the portfolio that we are offering. One is the programs, the educational program, and in the educational programs, we are offering advanced diploma in accounting and finance, associate certified Islamic banker, certified financial modeler, certified CFO, diploma in IFRS, IFA direct program of all regulated level 3 to level 7, and advanced financial analysis in Power BI, advanced Excel courses. Okay, so apart from these educational programs, we are offering some corporate trainings as well in financial modeling, tax, audit, financial management strategy, advanced Excel and Power BI, leadership and HR best practices, and some soft skills as well. Okay. So apart from corporate trainings, we are offering services in bookkeeping, outsourcing, virtual CFO, employee end of the year benefits, IFRS implementation, financial model preparation, and Power BI implementation, along with Excel dashboard integration. Okay. So this is a brief introduction about Lexicon. So this is a quote that I have intentionally added over here. The future of work would not be about college degrees, it will be about skills. You can add job skills or only skills as well. So basically, this is a proverb or a sentence that has been taken from the freelancing survey that was conducted in America. Okay, so according to this phrase, the thing is that the future of work would not be about college degrees. So it is not mandatory that how much degrees you have, or how many degrees you have, but the most important thing is that how many or how much skills you have. The skills particularly which are required by the industry. Okay, so if you have any degree but you don't have the required skill sets which is required by the industry, so you will not get the designation or the role that you require according to your degree. Okay, so why financial modeling basically, or why we're offering? So this is a report. This is a picture basically that has been taken from a report offered by World Economic Forum. Is anyone speaking? I can't hear. So Asad Saab, can you hear me, please? Can you hear? Can you write in the chat window if you can hear me properly? Can anyone please confirm that if you are hearing me? Can you hear me, please? Okay. All right. So, Asasab, you can check your speaker or mic or something like this. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, this is an image that has been taken from the World Economic Forum report. This is about job landscape up to 2022. So there are, according to this report, there are 133 million job roles that will emerge, and there are 75 million job roles that will be on declining phase. Okay, so in 133 million emerging roles, there are top 10 emerging roles and top 10 declining roles. So in top 10 emerging roles, you can see that at the top of the list, there is data analyst and scientist, okay, then AI, machine learning, and so on. Okay, so at the top of the list, at number one, there are data analysts and scientists. So data analyst can be from any department, maybe from finance department, accounts, or marketing or HR departments. Okay, so we will be talking about the financial analysis, right? So as well as the top 10 declining skills are concerned, in these top 10 declining skills, there are data entry clerks, accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks, etc. So the main theme or the main thing behind these top 10 declining skills is that all these skills are which are repetitive in the nature. Okay. So if you have any skill or if you have any job or role which has a repetitive nature of task, then your role will be on a declining phase. Okay, so the thing is that you have to upgrade your skills according to the requirement of the industry. All right, so this is one purpose or one objective that we are offering certain programs, including financial modeling, which is most emerging skill set. Okay, so as well as the scope of financial modeling is concerned. So being a financial modeler, you can work in investment banks, equity research companies, project finance companies, analytic companies, and credit rating and financial analysis companies. So as well as the scope is concerned, you can work in these companies, right? So I have intentionally added some of the jobs from Pakistan markets, not from the international markets. So these are a bit older ones. I'm not able to add some newer jobs basically. So the main objective behind this is that the organization even in Pakistan are now uh, requiring financial modeling skills. So here you can see that they are job by Sapphire Group, and they are requiring financial analysis and financial modeling skills. And again, from the Sapphire, they are requiring financial planning, financial analysis, and financial modeling and data analysis skills. So again, from Zameen, from Changan Motors, then from Kia Motors in Pakistan. Okay, these are some jobs that are from Pakistani organization and which are requiring financial modeling skills. So I'm not talking about the international market, but yes, in the Pakistan market as well, there is a requirement of financial modeling skills that is also increasing day by day. Okay. So our full-fledged programs are Certified Financial Modeler that is going to start from Monday, May 23, and we have physical training program as well, namely Mastering Financial Modeling in PC Hotel Lahore on June 5. Okay, so if there is anyone who is interested to join these programs, you can join, and uh, we will be offering around 15% discount to the attendees of this session if they're interested to join any of our program. Okay, so I will be discussing about the certified financial modeler later on, what we will be covering in this. So before this, let's discuss about the 10 best practices on what. So here it is. We will be discussing about 10 best practices for the financial modeling purposes. Okay. So before this, there are basically three building blocks for a financial modeling process. So in these three building blocks, first block is the planning phase or planning block. Then the another block is the layout and format block, okay, or layout and format phase. And then after the layout and format phase, we have the third and the last block, that is ensuring quality, okay, and audit of a financial model. So these are basically three building blocks of any financial model, and we will be discussing that what is included in each and every of all these three building blocks to prepare a financial model. So in the planning phase, the first point is plan a model. Then we have to talk about in assumptions, and then we will be talking about layout, format, and formulas. Okay. So in the planning phase, the first and foremost point to build a financial model is to plan your financial model. And what you have to consider while you are planning your financial model. So first of all, you have to define the purpose or objective of your financial model. Why you are going to prepare a financial model, or what is that you want to achieve from that particular financial model, whether you are going to assess the viability of a project, or you are going to prepare a discounted cash flow financial model, or you are going to prepare a financial model for a merger or acquisition bids, or you are going to prepare a financial model for restatement purposes, or you are going to prepare a financial model for leverage buyout purposes. So first thing to prepare a financial model is that you have to define the purpose or objective of your financial model. Okay. So once you have defined the objective or purpose of your financial model, then you have to analyze the industry and the organization for which you are going to prepare a financial model. For example, if you are going to prepare a financial model for a pharmaceutical industry, then the assumptions and the procedure will be different. And if you are going to prepare a financial model for FMCG or for any heavy machinery, then the assumptions will be different. So in the planning phase, you have to understand about the industry and the organization for which you are going to prepare a financial model. And the third thing is that in the planning phase, you have to understand what are the users of your financial model. For example, if your users are not much uh, aware about the Excel skills or the financial modeling skills, then the layout of your financial model may be different, or the functions or the formulas that you will be using in your financial model will be different. On the other hand, if you are going to prepare a financial model to present to some chartered accountants or some accountants, then the layout or the function of formulas will be different. Okay. So the first best practice is that you have to plan your financial model, and you have to define the purpose or objective. Then you have to understand about the industry and organization, and then you have to define the users of your financial model as well. Okay. So once you have planned your financial model, then you have to spend time on the assumptions. Okay. So assumptions are the second point in the planning phase, and this is very important phase while preparing the financial model. So basically, while you will be preparing the financial model, normally this will be the financial position or the financial performance of the following years. So this means that you will be projecting the financial position or financial performance of that particular organization for the following years. So you have to assume certain figures or the percentages, like you have to assume about the revenue growth, and you have to assume what are the expansion plans. For example, they will be introducing new product lineups, or they will be entering into new markets. Okay. So you can also assume that what will be the diversification plans. For example, they will be entering into they will be adding some new portfolios or not. Okay, so what will be the working capital for that particular financial model or for that particular organization? Okay, so these are some assumptions that you have to take before preparing your financial model, and this is very critical part of the financial model, because it is very important to know the reason behind each assumption that you will be using while preparing your financial model. Because whenever you will be presenting your financial model to your client or to your management, they will be more interested about the reason behind the 10% that you have entered as a revenue growth in your assumption in your financial model. And then you have to tell that why you have taken this 10% or 15% supposedly as a revenue growth while preparing your financial model. Okay, so any question so far by any participant? Any query or any question by any participant till now? Is there anything to ask from the participant, please? Okay, so if there is any query or the question by any participant, just do let me know, and you can write in the chat window and we can discuss. All right. So after the assumptions, then you have to plan or you have to format your financial model. Okay, so in formatting of your financial model, there are some best practices. One is that use a separate sheet for the assumptions. As we were discussing about the assumption, so the thing is that you have to use a separate sheet for the assumption in your financial model. Let me open a financial model and I will be discussing that how you have to use a separate sheet in your financial model. So basically, there are two formats we will be discussing uh, in next couple of minutes. So while you will be preparing a financial model, you have to add a cover sheet, then summary, then inputs or assumption, then scenarios, schedules, and a model itself. Okay. So inputs are the assumption. While you will be preparing a financial model, you have to use a separate sheet to insert inputs or assumption to prepare that financial model. So basically these assumptions or inputs are the hard-coded figures that you have to enter. Okay. So each and every hard-coded figure hard-coded figure means the figure that you have entered manually. Okay, so each and every manually entered figure should be entered into the input or assumption sheet. Okay, and then you will link that particular input or assumption figure from the input sheet to the scenarios, to the schedules, or your financial model. Okay, so this is what is meant by that you have to use a separate sheet for your financial model. So whenever you will be preparing a financial model, you have to use a separate sheet for assumptions are the inputs, and each and every hard-coded figure should be entered in this separate sheet. Okay. So next thing is decide vertical or the horizontal layout. So basically there are two types of layouts to prepare a financial model. One is called vertical and another one is called horizontal. So let me tell you that what is the difference between horizontal and vertical financial model. So these are two models. Here you can see that one is in which we have cover sheet, summary, input, scenario, schedule, and a model. So these are 6 sheets, and in these 6 sheets, I have prepared model. This is a 3 statement model basically, including income statement, balance sheet, and the cash flow statement in a single sheet. Okay, and the schedules are prepared on a single sheet as well. Here you can see that I have revenue, then CGS, payroll, depreciation, working capital, and so on. So in this structure, I have prepared schedule and model in vertical order. Okay, because I have used only one sheet to prepare each and every schedule, and I have used only single sheet to prepare all 3 financial statements. So this is called a vertical financial model layout. because I have entered or I have calculated information in a vertical order. All right. So you have to decide that whether you have to prepare all schedule on a single sheet or you have to use separate sheet to prepare each and every schedule. All right. So let me discuss what is meant by the vertical schedule. Okay. So vertical financial model layout. So here you can see first sheet is the cover sheet, then input. Then we have separate sheet for the revenue calculation. We have separate sheet for operating expense, payroll, fixed asset, and we have separate sheet for income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. So if you are preparing or if you are calculating each and every information on a separate sheet, this is called horizontal financial model layout. Okay, so you have to decide that whether you will be using a vertical financial model layout or a horizontal financial model layout. Okay, so the best practice is that you should use a vertical financial model just like this. Okay, so you should prepare all schedules on a single sheet and all financial statements on a single sheet. So this is the best practice. All right. So next point is, once you have decided that whether you will be preparing financial model in a vertical or horizontal order, then you have to break down calculation into simple and logical steps. I was discussing that you have to understand about the audience or the user of your financial model. So according to the users, you have to break down the complex calculation into the simple and logical steps so that the reader or the user of your financial model can best understand that how you have arrived at any specific figure or any specific calculation. Okay. Then the seventh point is that use color labeling, especially the unit of measurement. Let me discuss that what is meant by unit of measurement. So supposedly this is a financial model and we have prepared a financial model. We have calculated schedules. So this is a revenue schedule. So at each and every row, you have to enter what is mentioned in this particular row. Or this is meant that you have to enter the unit of measure for this particular row. For example, you have entered the number of units in this particular row, then you have to enter that this row contains unit. Okay. And if you have entered percentage in a particular row, then you have to mention that this row contains percentage values. All right. So here you can see we have calculated the landed cost, and you can see that this row contains PKR per unit. And here we have number of units, percentage, and here you can see that PKR per million. Okay. So for each and every row, you have to enter a clear labeling so that the user of your financial model can understand that what is mentioned in any specific row. All right. So this was the second, this was the seventh point, and the most important thing is that you have to use color coding. Color coding means that while you will be preparing a financial model, for hard-coded values, you have to use a separate color, and for formulas or the cells which are containing formulas or references, you have to use a separate color. So this is what is meant by color coding. All right. So this color coding basically helps the audience to understand that what this particular cell is meant. For example, if you're using a red color for a reference, so whenever there is a red cell, the audience can understand, the user of your financial model can understand that yes, this cell contains a reference from any other sheet. All right. So once you have prepared the layout, format, and you have used each and every formulas in your financial model, then you have to ensure the quality and output of your financial model. Okay. So once the financial model has been prepared, then you have to use, or you have to include scenarios and sensitivities in your financial model. So what is meant by scenario? So whenever you will be preparing a financial model, so it is mandatory that you have to use minimum 3 scenarios in your financial model. For example, this is a base case, best case, and worst case. Okay. So whenever you will change the scenario, the entire financial model will change automatically. For example, here you can see that currently running scenario is the best case. Okay. And in this best case, we have a revenue of 10,866 rupees. All right. So let me change the scenario from the scenario sheet from best case to worst case. You can see that the percentages are being changed over here. And in the financial model, revenue has also been changed from 10,800 to 10,110 only. Okay. And here you can see that the currently running scenario is the worst scenario. All right. So in each and every financial model, it is mandatory that you should use minimum 3 scenarios. Okay. So that you can present your financial model to the audience, to your management, or to your client. And you can see that this will be the result in best case, worst case, or the base case. Okay. So after including the scenarios, you have to add some built-in error checks. So what is meant by built-in error checks? So once you have prepared a balance sheet supposedly, and in the balance sheet you can add some built-in checks that whether your balance sheet is tally or not. So here you can see that, for example, if the total of all assets is equal to the total of liability and equity, it should display you okay. Otherwise, it should display you an error. So this is basically a built-in check that will tell you that whether your balance sheet is tally or not. Okay. So there are some other auditing techniques as well that we will be covering in our complete full-fledged program. So in your financial model, you should use some built-in error checks that will indicate you that whether your financial model is correct or not. So once you have added some built-in checks, so before handing over your financial model to your management or to your client, you have to test it twice. You have to check that whether your assumption whether your assumption and the output of your financial model is correct. So after testing it, you have to present it to your client or to your management to avoid any surprises. Okay. So these are best practices. These are basically 10 best practices that are being used by the financial modeler in the financial modeling world. So if there is any question or query by any participant, you can ask, please. You can write in the chat window, or even you can open your mic and we can discuss if there is any question or query. How the layout of a financial model will be different in layout based on the audience. For example, a model will be different if it will. I'm not talking about the layout. Basically, how the layout of the financial model will be different in layout based on the audience. Basically, the layout will not be different based on the audience. It will be based on the purpose of your financial model. The only thing that you can change according to your audience is that you have to use some basic functions, basically some simple function according to your audience. If your audience is well versed in financial modeling skills, then you can use some complex functions as well, which are not recommended. But according to your audience, you have to change the complexity of functions are the formula that you are being used in your financial model. Layout may be same. There is no issue in the layout. Okay, essence of is your question answered? Okay. Any other question, please? Okay. Was it the full-fledged financial model that was shown, or there are some other sheets? Can you please show complete course outline? Okay. I will be showing the complete course outline as well. What we will be discussing in our complete program. So basically, this is an entire financial model, including the cover sheet summary of each scenario, then the input. I'm just talking about the financial model. I will be discussing the complete course outline as well. Okay. So this is the input sheet. Then we have the scenario sheet. All right. And then we have the schedules starting from revenue, CDS, operating, working capital, depreciation, debt and loan amortization, taxes, equity, okay, and other schedules as well. And then a three statement financial model has been prepared using the scenarios, using the schedules as well, including the income statement, balance sheet, the cash flow statement. And in the full-fledged course, there are some other case studies as well, and the discounted cash flow financial model is also there that we will be preparing from very scratch. And let me discuss about the course outline that what we will be discussing in a full-fledged course. So there is a question how we can design a model as dynamic based on some variable. Okay, so as dynamic, it should be robust financial model. So how you can design a robust or a dynamic financial model is that you have to define all your assumption, all your variable on a single sheet that is called input or the assumption sheet. And then you have to link each and every variable or input or assumption from your assumption or the variable sheet. Okay. So if there is anything that may change in the future, okay, that you have to simply change from your input or the assumption sheet. Okay. So to make your financial model a dynamic or robust, then you have to use a separate input or the assumption sheet and enter each and every variable and assumption into that particular sheet and link those variables from that particular input or the assumption sheet to your schedules and your financial model sheet. All right, is answer. All right, so what we will be covering in our full-fledged program. So in Certified Financial Model program, we will be covering some complex Excel functions and what if analysis, including goal seek and data tables. Then we will be discussing reporting and analysis through pivot table. And here we will be discussing that how we can create how we can create a profit and loss account using the pivot table, and how we can analyze the financial statements or profit and loss account using the slicer timeline chart into while using the pivot table. Okay, and we will also be discussing about that how we can connect multiple pivot tables to prepare a dashboard. All right, and then we will be discussing some non-function, or we will be refreshing some non-function, including date and time, nested if function, some including depreciation, NPBIR, PMT, PPMT, and IPMT, FS schedule. Then we will be discussing index, match, and choose function. Okay, so these are the functions that we will be using in our financial model. So afterward, we will be having a very thorough discussion on how we have to arrange our workbook and how we have to prepare different worksheets, or what is the best tab structure for the worksheets, and how we can format a sheet for a financial model. And we will be having a very detailed discussion about the custom number formatting, or the formatting a number formatting required in a financial model, and how we can color code cell for each and every schedule and a financial statements for easy understanding. And we will be discussing about absolute and relative cell references that will be required for a financial model, number formatting, and how we can add text to numerical values as well. Okay. Then we will be discussing about fundamentals of financial modeling and some best practices. Here we will be discussing understanding of financial modeling, how we can analyze financial statements, and how we can set up a financial model, and what are the best strategies to build or to set up a financial model. Okay, Then we will be preparing schedules from very scratch, including revenue and pricing, cost of sale, HR and payroll, operating costs, working capital, property, plant and equipment, debt and loan amortization, equity and income tax, including current and deferred taxes. And once we have prepared all these schedules, we will be preparing a complete three-statement model. Okay, and then we will be having a discussion about the scenario management and analysis, how we can build scenario and how we can build scenario switch, and how we can select item for the scenarios for a financial modeling perspective, and how we can integrate scenarios into our financial model. Okay, and how we can prepare the summary of each scenario as well. Then we will be having a case study about the discounted cash flow model, and we will be building a complete discounted cash flow model from very scratch, where we will be calculating NPV, IRR, profitability index, ROI, and payback period using a case study. Okay. Then we'll be discussing some model auditing techniques and how we can use built-in checks and how we can audit the financial model. Okay, so these are the two certificates. One is the E certificate that will be provided by Lexicon, and another one is the completion certificate by Institute of Financial Accountants UK. All right, so this is the complete outline that we will be covering in 2 weeks time period. All right, so if there is any question, just do let me know. Otherwise, there is a question in the chat window. Will it be better to use drop-down list or other feature are also available to make a dynamic? Drop-down list, drop-down list. So while you're writing the drop-down, so is it meant that you will be using a data validation, or you will be using any scenario switch or combo box or something like this? So yes, you can use data validation, and the other option which are available are, there are some farm control buttons. Okay, so let me check over here. So basically under the developer tab, there are some farm control, including the combo box, including button, and we have the checkbox as well. So you can use the combo box and the checkbox to make your financial model a dynamic one as. And yes, you can use the data validation as well. Rizwan, is it okay? If there is any other question by any participant, just do let me know, please. If there is any question or the query, just do let me know, please. Is there any pre-qualification needed or eligibility criteria to join CFM? Will there be any assessment exam to get the certificate? So as well as the eligibility criteria is concerned, anyone who has some basic knowledge of Excel and accounting and finance can join this program. And there will not be any exam, but yes, there will be certain assignments to assess the eligibility, to assess the skills by the participants, but yes, there will not be any exam. Any other question, please? All right, thank you, Hassan Saab. If there is any other question, just do let me know, please. All right, so I believe there is no question. So thank you very much, everyone, for your valuable time and participating in this program, in this webinar. So if there is any question or the query, you can ask us, and you can visit our website. So this is lexicon.edu.pk, or you can reach us at +92320 This is our office number, or you can write us an email at lexicon.edu.pk. Okay, and some of our members will be in touch with you. Can we receive this sample financial model? No, we will not be sharing this sample financial model. So the participant who will be joining our programs, we will prepare those participants to prepare these financial model by their own. Okay. All right.
Sir, I have a question.
Any query by any participant? If there is any question or query, you can reach us at the information given above, or for the program information, you can visit our websites, or you can get in touch at the number above. All right.
Sir, I
So
have a
thank you very
question.
much for your time. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Hello.